Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Carlo Pamintuan.
We bring you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Diego Dario. And in tonight's game plan, we're kicking off the new year by listing down our picks for the game's top PBA players of 2021.
And we'll break down some potential trade scenarios for my partner Diego Dario's favorite NBA team, Dame Time's Portland Trail Blazers. Buckle up, fans. Let's get in the game. "2021 was a year to remember for PBA fans, and tonight we'll go through superstars, legends, and franchise faces for the game's list of top PBA players. Joining me for this discussion is my partner, PBA Rush analyst Diego Dario, alongside PBA champ and Phoenix Field Masters assistant coach and Limitless App Masters champion head coach, Willie Wilson. Coach Willie, thank you for joining us and Happy New Year to you.
Hi, Coach.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me, Carlo and Diego.
Coach, 2021 was an exciting year for the PBA. Of course, we had the Philippine Cup, and then we started the PBA Governors Cup. And amidst all of those outstanding games, nakakita tayo ng magagandang performance from different players. Yep, and we are here to discuss the game's top 5 players of the entire league. Again, making sure that you all understand this is our list. Feel free to agree or disagree with any of the entries. So let us start with the discussions. Diego, take us away with our first pick for the game of one of the top 5 players of the PBA in 2021.
All right, again, this is not in order,
Yep.
just so that all the fans know. But for the first pick, we have Mikey Williams of the TNT Tropang Giga. He's done a great job with this team in his first year in the PBA, averaging 18.2 points per game, 4.2 rebounds, and 3 assists per game in the current conference. Now, Carlo, when was the last time a rookie had this impact this quick?
I would have to go back to someone like Calvin Abueva, I think, because even Junmar Fajardo, with all that he has accomplished, was not this dominant, was not this good in his first year. Of course, he ended up having a super high ceiling and being one of the best ever to do it in the PBA. But in terms of impact, Mikey Williams has been amazing. What differentiates him from other rookies is that he is not young. I mean, he's at 30 years old. So this guy is a player already in his prime years when he entered the PBA.
Coach Willie, what can you say about Mikey Williams, and how do you think will you guard him? Let's say go way back 10 years from now, you guard him in your prime. How will you guard the Mikey Williams?
Carlo, you said it. He's not really a rookie because at 30 years old, he's very seasoned. He's played in big leagues, overseas. I think he even played in the G League. So you look at a guy like Mikey Williams, he has all the tools. He can score at all 3 levels. He can score from the 3, he can score mid-range, he can get to the basket. He can even do it all off the dribble. So the first thing I'd do if I was guarding Mikey Williams is I'd try to deny him the ball. That's the first thing I try to do.
Yep.
I try to not deny him the ball. I try to be extra physical. And if they do end up running me off screens and him getting the ball, the next thing I do is I call for help, to be honest. Because you can't guard this guy one-on-one. He's going to put you in the mix with the crossovers to the step back, bang, hit you from the 3. So, yeah, I'm trying to deny him, and then I'm calling for help if he gets the ball.
No mano y mano, no one-on-one, just call for help right away.
Not for me, not for me. I don't have the foot. I never actually had the foot speed for that. I got the hand check ability for that, but the foot speed, he's probably gonna make me look like Terrence Romeo did back in the day, put me on my butt, and I don't need too many of those. Those aren't too good for my pride.
That's definitely high praise coming from a top defensive player such as yourself, Coach Willie. Now, moving forward, the game's second pick for the top 5 players of 2021 is the beast, Calvin Abueva. And you can't go wrong with this guy. I mean, he was the best player of the conference in the Philippine Cup. So how could you deny that he has been one of the top players of the year? 16 points per ball game, 8.7 rebounds per contest here in the Governor's Cup. And what's amazing to me, Diego, is that he was able to change his game to play alongside an import in Mike Harris, and it's looking good for Magnolia right now.
Yep, that's the great thing about Calvin Abueva. Whether there's an import or it's an all-Filipino conference, he can really have a positive impact for his team right now, talking about Magnolia, and he just does the dirty work for them. You don't need to call a play for Calvin Abueva. He's just going to do his work, get offensive rebounds, be physical, defend, and he just makes winning plays. That's the one for me.
Coach Willie, a player that you have been very familiar with, Calvin Abueva, and are you still, surprised with what he brings to the table for Magnolia?
Definitely not. Actually, I was teammates with him for 2 seasons. I think he only ended up playing one of those seasons. But what surprised me most about Calvin when we became teammates was his basketball IQ. He has an extremely high basketball IQ because it's the way he plays. It's almost instinctive. You don't have enough time to think about the plays that he makes out there, and he's such a great passer. I can even see him being able to run plays at the point guard spot. So I'm not surprised at all with what he did in that All-Filipino conference.
Yep, just an all-around player is Calvin Abueva. For the next one, though, we got our third pick, probably third player in the list of the game. We have Junmar Fajardo, the 6-time PBA MVP, of course. How can we not put him on this list? In the 2021 Philippine Cup, he was averaging 13.5 points per game, now averaging 15.2 rebounds, the same, but he has 1.6 blocks this Governor's Cup. Slowly, he's turning into his old form. Carlo, do you think the same way?
Yes, he is back to being dominant. I mean, at this point, hindi niya talaga kailangan to pump in all those numbers because it's an import conference, and I believe they will be sporting a new import kasi nagpaalam na si Brandon Brown. So let's see when the announcement will be made on who the new import for SMB will be. But one thing is for sure, that import must know how to play alongside Junmar Fajardo because he remains as the biggest strength of the San Miguel Pyramid.
Yes, that's for sure. Talking about imports, Coach Willie, when you're playing against with a guy like Junmar Fajardo, what kind of import are you looking at if you're San Miguel?
If I'm San Miguel, I'm trying to find a complementary import, possibly a wing, a 3, a 2. You can even do what Ginebra's been doing, and bring in a Justin Brownlee, a guy that can play the 3, play a little bit of the 4, play the 2. If you get a 4, he's got to be an outside player, and because you want to leave that paint open for Junmar. He does so much for you inside the paint, commands so much attention that just having Junmar inside the paint will free up so many opportunities for all your perimeter players.
Now, very quickly moving forward to our 4th pick, and this guy is worth the price of admission. I will pay a ticket to watch Robert Bolick play because he's just so much fun when you have it on the floor. As you can see the numbers of Robert Bolick right now, one of the top scorers in the league in terms of locals. Almost double digits in terms of assists. He is, of course, the most important member of that Northport Batang Pier squad. You've played against Robert Bolick, so you know exactly what he can do on the floor.
Wait, Robert Bolick is playing at a different level right now for Northport. And just a quick story, I work out with him. We have the same trainer, same gym. He's super confident in his game and the fact that he can lead this team all the way to the playoffs. He said that he just bet on me, that he knows that his team can make it all the way to the semifinals, and that's how confident this guy is. And I think it's his stash as well. I love the stash. That's what makes him one of the greatest players here, great characters here in the PBA.
So happy New Year and happy engagement to Robert Bolick.
Yeah.
Coach Willie, what can you say about just the confidence that he has in his own ability?
Well, you know what? He reminds me of somebody that I'm with on a daily basis. You guys know him. He better be on your list. Matthew Wright. That confidence, that shooter, that Mamba mentality. That's what I call it. He has that Mamba mentality to just know that any shot that he takes, it's gonna go in. The confidence to make plays and the skill to make it. Again, this is a guy that impresses me every time I see him play. just the skill level and his toughness out there. He's a competitor. I love when he flexes on guys after he gets an M1. I'm like, man, this guy's play. I mean, it's unbelievable. I love watching him play.
And Coach Willie Wilson preempted our 5th pick for the game's top players of the PBA in 2021.
Oh, there we go.
We are talking about Matthew. Oh, we can't leave him when we have you as the guest. So let's take a look at the numbers of Matthew right now. So consistent. Look at that. 15 points, about 6 rebounds, about 6 assists per ball game. Game in and game out, even with the defense focused almost completely on him, he still finds a way to contribute, Coach Willie.
Oh yeah. The thing about Matt that a lot of people don't know is he's not just a scorer. He's a ball player, and he can play the point, he can play the 2, he can play the 3. As you've seen a little bit this conference and the previous conference, he's mixing it up in the post a little bit now too, and he's also getting at it on defense as well. So one thing that you're going to get when you have Matt is you're going to get a player that is going to do everything that needs to be done to get his team over the top to get that win, whether it's making the right pass, getting buckets, or getting that stop on defense, or getting rebounds. He's doing it all.
And we're all excited to watch all these superstars, that's for sure. And I'm sure we all can't wait to see these superstars back in action in the new year. But we will have to wait a little longer as the PBA announces the postponement of all scheduled games this week. The league now awaits further instruction from the Games and Amusements Boards and LGU approval before it resumes action following the Alert Level 3 placement in Metro Manila. Prior to the announcement, the PBA was planning to return to the Mall of Asia Arena for the first time in 2 years on January 15 and 16.
In the meantime, Coach Willie stays with us for more hoop talk because after the break, he'll break down some potential trade scenarios for Diego Dario's favorite NBA team, Dame Time's Portland Trail Blazers. Stay tuned, you're watching The Game. Welcome back to The Game. I'm Carlo Pamintuan. As we are graced with the presence of my co-host and NBA.com Philippines all-star writer, Diego Dario, we have decided to dedicate this segment especially for him and his favorite NBA team, the Portland Trail Blazers. So tonight, let's break down some potential trades for Dame Time squad. And still joining us for our discussion is four-time UAAP champion Willie Wilson. Coach, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure that you also have your own thoughts about the Portland Trail Blazers, one of the most exciting teams in the NBA. So let's start things off. 4 possible trades for the Portland Trail Blazers. We are opening up with one that will land them a wing guy, a good athletic wing guy that could do a lot of things for them. How do you like this trade, Diego? Jeremy Grant from the Detroit Pistons in exchange for Robert Covington, Anthony Simmons, and 3 future picks.
Hey, I like this. I like this trade. Jeremy Grant is a wing player who can defend, who can shoot threes, and who can also create. But he's a little bit taller compared to the other wing guys of the Portland Trail Blazers. So I think I like this trade. If they want to win now, I want to win now. In the next 2-3 years, I'll go for this trade.
Coach Willie, is this too much to give up to get someone like Jeremy Grant? Teensy bit.
That's way too much to give up to Jeremy
The
Grant.
future picks.
Diego's talking about he wants to win. He wants to win now. Has Jeremy Grant proven that he can win? I don't think so. I think if we're talking about winning, Robert Covington has definitely won a lot more than Jeremy Grant has. And if I'm giving up Robert Covington, he's a proven role player, 3-and-D guy that can play multiple positions all the way up to the 5, down to the 3. I mean, it looks like I'm making a lateral move by getting Jeremy Grant.
That's a good point, Coach Willie. So let's now move forward to a second possible trade for the Portland Trail Blazers. And this one will net them one of last year's All-Stars coming from the Indiana Pacers. Of course, we're talking about Domantas Sabonis. And we add to the list Jeremy Lamb in exchange for CJ McCollum and a couple of future picks. Of course, in terms of future picks, I don't think that you would want to give up first-rounders in this trade. Maybe that's 2 second-round picks in the future. But Domantas Sabonis, an all-star, a guy who can score points, grab rebounds, dish out assists. Coach Willie, do you see him working alongside a superstar like Damian Lillard?
You got to think about who he's going to be in the front court with. He's got Yusuf Nurkic there. And I mean, he's a you want to call him a power forward? I'll call him a center because he doesn't shoot from the 3.
Yep.
So that just, to me, that just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I'm X quick.
I like your candidness. Gusto ko yung sungit ni Coach Willie Wilson when it comes to these trades. So, how about you, Diego? Do you like this trade? Is Domantas Sabonis someone that you would want to see wearing a Portland jersey?
Hey, as a Portland fan, I want Nurkic out, to be honest.
Oh!
I want Nurkic out, to be honest, because he doesn't play defense. He can play offense, he can post up anyone, but he does not play defense. He just gets attacked on pick and rolls, ball screens. So I think it should be Yusuf Nurkic there, but Domantas Sabonis, I think he's a good pick.
I agree.
Good trade, but I don't want Dame and CJ to be broken up, honestly. Like, they're the 2 top reasons why I became a Portland fan.
Unfortunately for you, Diego, our third trade scenario would still be including CJ McCollum, but it will be for a big-time superstar. We're talking about the player from, well, the Philadelphia 76ers, Ben Simmons, Shake Milton, in exchange for CJ McCollum, Nasir Little, and a future pick. Would you bet on Ben Simmons, Diego?
I think I'd go for this one. This is probably the only trade I'd trade CJ McCollum because Ben Simmons, for me, is still an all-star. He can hoop, although he doesn't shoot. I believe he can work on that. I'm sure Coach Willie knows he believes in player development, that's for sure. Ben Simmons will eventually have a jump shot, so I believe in that. So I think I'll go for that trade. It adds more defense to the Portland Trail Blazers. Offense-wise, no problem. You have Dame, you have the other stars of the Portland. I think, defensively, this trade will help them.
Eventually is a very tricky word, my friend.
That's why we're discussing this.
I know.
But Coach Willie,
to win now.
let me ask this. When you have a player who has refused to play for a team, so you know that sometimes the personality gets involved, the ego gets involved. Do you want someone like that playing for your team?
Well, I think it's a case-to-case basis. You have to look at, you have to get to the root. Why? Why doesn't this player want to play? And with Ben Simmons, I think it's a competitive reason. He just doesn't want to compete. I mean, they say that those Philly fans are some of the toughest fans around, and he's afraid to play in that arena. So I wouldn't want a player like that playing for me. I mean, I want a, I want a Bolick type player, a Matthew Wright type player to play for me, a bulldog, somebody that's just gonna, put his head down and work and just shut out the noise. And I don't think he can do that.
Hey, just to add to this, Coach and Carlo, with Chauncey Billups as the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, I think that's gonna help in terms of having that player-coach relationship with Ben Simmons eventually. Again, I'm saying eventually because you'll never know what's gonna happen with a player like Ben.
His coach in Philly is also a former point guard.
Oh yeah, that's facts too.
That. I mean, I know that's
good point, Coach.
I know that's a little bit before your time, but let me just throw this. Let me just throw this in there. Sorry to cut you off. Instead of Ben Simmons, how about Tobias Harris?
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's actually a good.
That's
But I think he's overpaid. Honestly.
that should be a discussion.
Oh yeah, we'll go to the next one.
Well, let's move forward to our final possible trade, and let's make Diego Dario happy. Let's trade away Yusuf Nurkic.
Yes.
Let's try to get him involved so that we can get more from our NBA analysts right here. Eric Bledsoe, you have Marcus Morris, Nicolas Batum, and of course Serge Ibaka going to his squad to Portland in exchange for McCollum, Covington, and Nurkic. Diego, does this make you happy?
Honestly, I'm happy because Yusuf Nurkic will be traded, but I think this is too much for the guys that we're getting.
No.
I mean, we got Eric Bledsoe, who can't shoot threes. You have Marcus Morris, who's playing well for the Clippers just because Paul George and Kawhi Leonard is out. Nick Batum, who's probably going to retire in the next 2-3 years, and Serge Ibaka, who went to the G League, had an injury. So I don't think it's going to be a good trade for the Portland Trail Blazers.
Coach, really, your thoughts on this exchange?
Man, if I'm Portland, I jump all over this. If I'm Portland, I jump all over this because if I'm the Clippers, I'm like, if I'm a Clipper fan, I'm like, what am I doing? But I'm a Laker fan, so I'm like, yeah, make that trade because I hate the Clippers. So that's a win for me, and that's a win for Diego. We're both happy.
All right.
Final question for both you guys. Is there a scenario that you can see where Portland will part with Damian Lillard? Diego?
No, that's not going to happen. If I'm the GM of Portland, Dame has been so loyal to this franchise, so that's not going to happen. I'm also, no bias also. I'm not being biased right here.
Coach Willie, is there a superstar that you want to see for Portland in exchange for Damian Lillard?
Russell Westbrook.
Oh, come on, Coach.
Well, as a Laker
Coach,
fan,
well,
that works as a Laker fan, Coach Willie.
The money matches. The money matches. You get a former MVP, triple doubles, box office. What more would you want?
Said like a true Laker fan. And on that note, we thank you so much for joining us here on the game, Coach Willie. It was a blast. I hope you also had fun.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Coach Willie. And we'll have more stories when we return. Please keep it here. You're watching The Game.
watching The Game. I'm Diego Daria. The MVP group of companies, together with its partners, are in unity in spreading joy and hope this holiday season, and you can be part of this remarkable movement. This time, the diving community in Mabini, Batangas received a holiday surprise. Let's watch this.
Anumang hamon ng mundo, magkasama tayo, itutuloy
Ang Metro Pacific Investments Foundation ay may programa po for the environment. At ito po ang pinakamalapit na diving area, no, sa Metro Manila. At dahil po nung nagkaroon ng pandemya, naramdaman po ng lahat ng mga taga-Mabini. At dahil po doon, hindi rin po sila nagkaroon ng opportunity na kumita. Kaya ngayon pong Paskong ito ay nagdala po kami ng 200 na Noche Buena packs na may kasama pong ham para meron naman po silang mapagsalu-saluhan.
Ang tuloy pa rin ng Pasko program ng Metro Pacific Investment Corporation at ng MVP Group of Companies ay naging tradisyon na for the last 4 years dito sa Mabini. Ang ating pong mga naging recipients ay yung ika nga ay less fortunate na ating mga kababayan na ating natulungan.
Bukod sa pagiging barangay kagawad ko, isa akong dive master. Minsan sa isang buwan, kadive ka lang 2 beses. Minsan ilang linggong wala. Kaya napakalaking pagkakaiba. Napakalaking tulong sa mga taga rito sa bayan ng Mabini na nagawa ng Metro Pacific simula pa nung naglindulan tapos dumating nga itong pandemyang ito. Laging tumutulong sila dito sa bayan ng Mabini. Kaya ako ay lubos na nagpapasalamat sa Metro Pacific.
Mahirap ang hanap buhay namin. Kasi hindi man ako makatrabaho dahil senior daw ako. Maraming salamat sa Metro Pacific. Maraming salamat sa Panginoon. Nakarating kami ngayon, mayroon kaming natanggap ng mga biyaya sa Panginoon na makakain namin.
Dito sa Mabini, Batangas,
Let's do our part and spread the Christmas cheer to our fellow kababayans. You may send your donations to the accounts flashed on your screen or contact us on the following details. Tara na sa isang maligayang bayanihan, Pilipino. And that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Diego Daria.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Carlo Pamintuan, and this has been The Game.